Welcome, everyone. Drew Brown here with Liam Brennan, Pace Men's Lacrosse class of 2018. And not only one of the most prolific scorers in program history, but also one of the best playmakers as well. To put on a uniform, he's one of our newest members of the Hall of Fame. Liam, first, congratulations on your selection to be inducted into the Pace Athletics Hall of Fame. Incredibly well deserved. How does it feel to know you're a Hall of Famer, and what was that like when you got that call?
Thanks, Drew. Yeah, I mean, it was a kind of surreal feeling. I was really psyched to get that call. It was something that, I was just, dreamed of having, an accolade like that. So it was a real humbling, experience and just, surreal from the start of that call. It was awesome to get.
So your sophomore year, 2016, you earned ECAC All-Star honors. You're putting up a monster season, career high, 72 points, 36 goals, 36 assists. And now the team's got an 11-win season, first time since 2003. How did you elevate your game so early, still in your career? What was it like as a team going from some tough years before that to developing into a team that really is one to be reckoned with?
Yeah, I mean, we were young, but we had some awesome leaders. We had Koss, Brophy, Buffalino, Cap Callahan, who was just they were awesome to the young guys. They really took us in. They didn't have any, they weren't mad that some of the young guys were, very skilled. And it goes back to freshman year. A lot of us freshmen, we were playing. So you get that, experience, it comes with, confidence and, instilled and, something to grow off of from year one. So it was really, a combination of having great leadership in that second year, as well as, just having, a first year of actually playing experience and, getting right into it, getting fed to the dogs early.
And it definitely paid off because the following year it really proved to be a even bigger breakthrough year in terms of some personal accolades. You were an all conference first team selection, USILA All American honorable mention, um, and a trip to the NCAA tournament for the first time after a 12-win season. I remember that season like it was yesterday. It's a lot of fun. Talk about it from your perspective and what it meant to reach some new heights like that.
Yeah, that was we were talking about that earlier today, but that it was a fever dream of a season. Like 2017, we had everything it took to, win, all our, guys that we brought in together, we stayed together and we were a really strong class and we won a lot of games and, we really competed with everyone. I think we got up to rank number 2 in the nation at one point and
Mm-hmm.
everyone was just, really contributing. It was an awesome year.
That was a fun year for sure, and it was a lot of fun to watch all you guys play. And you really stood out as well. You close out 2018 as a senior. You finish your career ranked second all time with 220 points, second with 107 assists. Now you're sixth in goals all time with 113. How did it feel to put together a book of work, a body of work where you're among the all-time greats in program history?
Yeah, looking back at it, the assist number is really intriguing to me because I was always a very prolific goal scorer. It was something that I was known for, and then just to have so many assists and be able to work with Coach Mariano and Coach Cornetta and really develop that part of my game, and really put myself into like a full finished product for college lacrosse was awesome. I was a very late bloomer, so it was really awesome to just get everything together and have a great career.
Well, it turned out to be an amazing career. Let's look back, going back to the very beginning, reflect a little further. Looking back at your path, what originally drew you to Pace? How did you know it was the right place for you?
Yeah, so I was committed to Cortland, and I was a little up in the air about it. I didn't really want to go all the way up there. It was so Pace ended up being a perfect spot. It was local enough for me to drive back and home if I ever needed to, but it was also a great distance to get away. And there was Coach Rob Cornett actually came to one of my games, and he gave me some time. We had a great chat after the game and he really sold me on everything that Pace was about, the culture that they were building, the classes and the new Pace lacrosse was really enticing to me, and it led to my commitment, and I was very thankful that I did.
Along the way over those years, was there a particular game or practice or moment that you feel defined your career at Pace?
A big body work. I don't know if there's a single moment, but beating Adelphi in 2017 has to be top of the list. That was an awesome moment going there and beating them. I don't think we beat them for like 15, 16 years up into that point. So it was awesome. I know all the boys loved that win. It was one of the most exciting weekends I think ever at Pace.
Now, to do all that you did, what do you think were your strengths, and what made you successful? What made you into a Hall of Famer?
I think my IQ for the game, I just always had a knack to, be in the right spots, direct teammates into the right spots, and lead by example on the field as much as possible. I was always going as hard as possible in practice. I love to score goals in practice just as much as games. So it was, I think, just being a leader by example was, something that I was able to separate myself and bring into real games.
Now, what were some of your fondest memories of your career at Pace besides the win over Delphi and NCAAs and things like that? Even off the field, if you want to share, what are some of the things you look back on and you think about, and you really enjoyed?
I mean, just off days, Sundays were the best when we just got to hang out, group of guys playing some cornhole, having some fun. The road trips were the best. Like there was nothing better than that. Brad Patterson used to say it all the time. Get the bus rattled up. We'd have the guys singing songs and everything. Road trips were a blast, and just everything about the Pace community was awesome. Everyone was very inclusive. All the sport teams got along. It was a great experience off the field too.
And how did being a student at Pace shape you and prepare you for life after college athletics?
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing for being an athlete anywhere, but especially at Pace, was the time management skills you learn overall. It's incredible, especially those mandatory study halls, which were brutal to go to. But looking back on it, it really just helped you develop a plan to go through your daily life, and it really does help every day now. It's awesome how athletics really transfer into life after athletics.
Now, kind of along a similar lines, what advice would you give to student athletes today?
I mean, advice is you go through, a long process, a lot of long days, and sometimes you get caught in a lot. You got to make sure that you know that you're there to have, fun. You're playing a sport you love. You have a great opportunity to, play lacrosse and or play whatever sport and, get academics and get an education. So I would just make sure that you're enjoying the process of it all. And yeah, it goes by real fast. And you're looking back and you're like, man, I wish I was back there.
And speaking of looking back, finally, what do you hope that people will remember most about you and your legacy at Pace?
I mean, just being a good teammate, being a good person. That's really important to me, and I think my teammates would say the same. Is you just got to be a good teammate to everybody, and I hope that my old teammates know that, and be a good friend to everybody. Go 100% in everything you do, and that's really it on that.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Liam. I appreciate it. Congratulations again. Very, very well deserved.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.